Welcome to the podcast, Stop Crying Poser. Greatest podcast known to man, as voted by the Rat Pack, famous band that used to eat food in Las Vegas. God, I wasn't planned for this. Who do we have in the chat today? Node for Droid, iBook Boy, Fletcher, Hate, Skate, iBook Boy, Support the Farts, Chillin' Pete, Cam, 702, Day, iBook Boy, Eric Sanchez. I appreciate you guys being here. We are running a little bit late today. We do this podcast every Friday, right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. The current time is 3:47, meaning we are 17 minutes late. It's because of a good reason. Last night, I was tired. I didn't want to make food, so I opted to either go to Carl's Jr. or McDonald's. We landed on McDonald's. On the way to McDonald's, I just happened to accidentally stop at the liquor store. I grabbed 2 Steel Reserves and a Mad Dog 2020, and then went to McDonald's, got 4 hot and spicies, ate them all. Then I drank the 2 Steel Reserves, drank half the Mad Dog 2020, and then next thing you know, I took a double shit this morning, a McDouble. I took a gigantic shit right when I woke up, and then right before the podcast started, I had to take another gigantic shit. I thought I emptied my entire insides, but then I did it twice. So I'm wondering if the second round was probably the chicken sandwiches, and probably while they were going into my belly, I picture my belly as like a cave would be in a cartoon. So they walked in, they started like pushing shit over, breaking shit, messing up the ceiling, and then they walked out and it was a mess in there. And then that mess also got shitted out, thus delaying the podcast. I'm sure you guys love hearing about my booty happenings. And that's why I'm late. I feel like that's a good excuse. You know what? I was late because I was doing what I love. I was enjoying a succulent American meal and shitting my fucking brains out. This week was very hot. Today was 109 degrees right now, and it's windy outside. So I opened my back door to let the dog outside so he could go to the bathroom. And hot oven wind. Just like if you're opening the oven, except it'd be as if it was blowing into your face. And it made my eyes hurt. I opened the door just after getting up. I look out there, my eyes started hurting from the heat being blown into my face. And summer is officially here in Las Vegas, and it's only going to get hotter. Every single day this week, it was 107 or more for our daily high. Our lowest temperature for the entire week, the lowest it got in the whole city, 81 degrees. And that's usually at 5 in the morning. So it's been pretty miserable. I uploaded a skateboarding video that was filmed on Tuesday of me basically trying to skate and having to give up. And I know I'm very dramatic in these videos. I'm like, oh man, I'm really close to dying. But in that moment, I really did feel like I was having some major like medical problems. I even like pulled my car up onto the curb so that when I went back down there to get my camera gear, I would have to walk less. For some reason, my like infected, broken brain was like, I need to minimize the distance between, you know, my camera bag and my car so that I can spend less steps, less time in the heat. And then, the marshal, which is kind of like park police, pulled up and they're like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. I just got to get out of this heat. I landed 2 switch front heels, kind of sloppily. I would say really, really sloppily. And I just could not get myself to continue trying because I was really getting concerned that if I fall or pass out or really lose balance, it would become a really bad situation because, like I always say, even though I'm at a public park, when it's this hot, there's no people. There's no jogging. There's no dog walking. There's no people exploring. There's no kids playing. There's nothing. There's no one for miles because I'm just in this skate park with concrete surrounded by baseball fields. No one's playing baseball in 109 degrees. They'd all die. So I was lucky the park police, the marshals were there. And I was very surprised today to read the comments because I tend to be really negative about my own skating. I hold myself to a really high standard. And when I fail a trick that I feel should be easy, 18-year-old me would have done this trick first try. I probably could have done it 10 tries in a row. So then old me failing, I kind of feel like shit. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go read these comments. And because I have such a presence on Instagram now as being like a skate critic, I kind of felt like everyone was going to critique me. And dude, the comments today were super nice. Some of them were even like, oh, you landed it twice. It wasn't even that bad. I woke up today just ready for people to be like, oh man, you're a bitch. You think everyone else has to skate perfect, but you can't even land a trick. And of course, I'm like mentally prepared to just be like, well, no one else is skateboarding. No one in the entire city is doing anything that I'm able to do right now. Built different, I was ready to go into it with some built different ass comments. But everyone was really nice. And I'm not sure what's up with that. I feel like maybe people are coming around. I don't know. Last week was fun. I guess we did the usual stuff, went out drinking, and we were at this bar. We ran into some guy that me and my friends knew from another bar, talked to him for a little bit, catch up. It's nice to catch up with people. And then some random chick at the bar was like, hey, have you guys heard of this new place? It used to be a country bar, and now it's a gambling bar. And my ears perked up. I was like, wait a minute, I think I know what you're talking about. Is it over here on these cross streets? And they're like, yeah, we just went in there. I was like, oh, that place isn't supposed to open for like 2 months. We go in there, bro. The bartender might have been lying, but he said I was the third customer ever. And I know that no one cares. I know that's not like a cool accolade, but it's something, right? Imagine if you were the third person to go into your local Walmart. You would forever have a connection with that place. You'd be like, oh, you'd be in Walmart, like standing in line, like, remember when this place first opened, huh? I was the third one. And then people would be like, whatever, old man, it's your turn. Go check out. Get the fuck out of my way. That's going to be me for this bar. But also, of course, my first impression, my buddy drove me, so I was hammered already. And I get in there and I'm just like, oh, fuck, dude, this bar's so cool. I used to hang out here. There used to be karaoke right here. The bar was right here. The bathroom moved. There used to be a big leak from the ceiling right here. This used to be the kitchen. And the bartender just like, okay, whatever. I don't care. Order a drink and shut up. Whatever. And he ended up being a really nice guy. But I wonder if you guys have any situations kind of like that where I guess a good example would be like the first few customers, or you had some experience there. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I met the owner one time. For example, I had a story with Jason Park. We went to a video game bar, and one of the owners of the bar saw Jason winning at Smash Brothers, came over and he's like, hey, I own this bar. I bet I can beat everyone at Smash Bros. In fact, if you win, I'll buy you and your whole crew a beer. If I win, it's free. Like, basically, we had nothing to lose, and Jason is very good at Smash Bros. Jason killed this guy, and then he had to buy us all beer. Fuck you. It's your bar. It's probably free for you. But I bet that's a situation where every time I go to Fremont Street and I go into the nerd bar, I'm going to remember that my friend Jason beat the owner. So I wonder if you guys have fun little things in locations. There's another place nearby where every time I go in there, they do Chicago hot dogs. And one of my friends beat the food challenge. You have to eat like 8 pounds of an 8-pound beef and cheddar or something. And he ate it. And I would always tell my friends when we're in there, like, hey, my friend fucking beat this challenge. And then most of the time they'd be like, yeah, we know him. Like, yeah, we all have the same friend group. You don't have to keep bragging. We know. So I guess that's a fun new experience. Speaking of new experiences, I don't want to make every topic about bars today, but Went out to the bar briefly on Wednesday to play pool. We actually streamed about an hour of playing pool, played some 8-ball, some bank 8, some 9-ball, had a good time. I got off to a horrible start, and then at the end, started to play really well. Once the Michelob Ultra started kicking in. Anyways, we left there pretty early, stopped at the gas station to grab a beer on the way home because those guys were going to come over. It's going to sound nerdy, but we were going to play darts and play chess. I know, a bunch of nerds playing chess. I didn't play, but I do enjoy playing. Anyways, no one wants to play darts or chess without a couple of beers in your hand. Am I right? Am I right, people that play chess outdoors in the sun? So I stopped in there to grab a 211, and there was a guy in front of me just in a good mood, and I was in a good mood too. And I saw he bought a beatbox and a buzz ball. A beatbox comes in like a cardboard carton, like a milk carton. A milk holder. Is it called a carton? It's made out of paper instead of metal or glass. So he gets the beatbox. It's like 10% alcohol, and they all come in super fruity flavors. So it's like raspberry, like 10% alcohol, 11% alcohol, and then he gets a buzz ball, which is like a tennis ball shaped sphere that has basically the same thing in it. It's like a little tiny tennis ball filled with alcohol. So he had a blue, this is going to be hard to say. He had a blue beatbox and a blue buzz ball. And I noticed that, and I thought it was funny in my head, so I was like, damn, you got the blue beatbox and the buzz ball. Just because all the B's sounds funny. And he's like, yeah, man, I invented this drink, and you mix the beatbox and the buzz ball, and it'll get you fucked up, man. You got to mix the blue with the blue. You can also mix the red with the purple, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, cool, man. I go, well, while you were over there, do you see any Steel Reserves? I get the watermelon ones, which is a very comparative sweet drink. He goes, Steel Reserve, that shit sucks. It's for homeless people. It's like drinking piss. What kind of idiot would drink that? And I'm like, weren't we just vibing? I thought we were just vibing. We were both saying friendly shit to each other, and now all of a sudden I'm homeless? First off, I've never seen a man even hold a buzzball. You fucking weirdo. I've never even seen a male that has a dick hold that feminine ass gay shit in your fucking hands. And because I want a old school Steel Reserve, which has been along way longer than your lame ass buzzball, suddenly I am some bum eating piss water or whatever the fuck that nerd said. Also, he was walking femininely towards the slushy machine like a fucking fruit. Of course he's going over there. Anyways. I didn't like the comment. Okay? I didn't like the comment that he made about, I was trying to be friendly. We're making friends. We're both riffing about different drinks. Just didn't appreciate that fucking attitude. And I'm exaggerating the story. Okay, I didn't actually say anything back. I guess, okay, this is where I become the bitch of the story. I didn't say anything back. I just silently grabbed my Steel Reserve. Oh, they didn't have Steel Reserve. I grabbed a Mike's Hard Lemonade. Equally, we're basically drinking the same thing. I was trying to make it like a friendly thing. Oh, like we both like high alcohol fruity drinks. Well, no one's criticizing anyone except for you now. Now you're a bitch. But yeah, in reality, all I said was, well, I like them. I like the watermelon ones. Fucking weirdo. And then that was the whole interaction. So that was the whole story. Do you guys think I'm overreacting? How hard is it to be nice to somebody in the gas station? It's easy. Being nice is free. I'm nice to everyone all the time. Even when I'm rude, it comes from a place of niceness. Right? When you see your friend you haven't seen for a while, like, oh man, you still look like a pussy, and then you guys hug. That's not the same as what happened in the gas station. I was just simply trying to find something we had in common. And I'll just have a quick little riff about it, but he fucked it up. He fucked it up. Called me a bum drinking piss? What the fuck, bitch? You're a woman. You're a woman right now. Okay. Well, the other day, right when I got back home from skating on Tuesday, I opened the door, right? I just came this close to dying in the hot sun. I opened the door, and my dog is usually at the front door, and he doesn't greet me the way that the cartoon would make it seem, like a happy dog. He just kind of walks to the front door, and he's right there to look at me and smell me, and then he goes on with his way. He's not a very affectionate dog to me. All my friends, he jumps on my friends and he'll lick them and he'll lay on them. And especially if you're a girl, he'll put all his body weight on you and flop over. But for me, he never really does that. So I get home, I open the door, and all I see is his head just poking out from the hallway. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what's up with him. Maybe he didn't hear my car pull up. Maybe he was sleeping. So I get in there, I set my camera bag down, I lay on the couch, and my dog comes, he tiptoes up to me. He's tiptoeing. And he's looking at me like he's afraid of something. And I'm like, okay, dude, what'd you do? Dogs always end up telling on themselves when they did something wrong. So I figured he probably chewed something up, which he has not done in years. Probably 5 years, maybe even 6 years. He's almost 8 years old now. He's 7 years old. So he only chewed things for his first year of his life. So it's been so long. And my other thought was maybe he had to take a pee. So, a couple of weird things happened in this story, by the way. I grab my flashlight and I look around the house for wet spots. And my carpet is white. Well, it's like dirty, so it's kind of gray. And I'm looking around, looking for a wet spot. I look everywhere I can on the carpet. I can't find anything. So I'm telling him, like, hey, dude, I don't know what you did, but you got away with it, okay? I can't find where you pissed or what you did. Now I'm thinking he might have ate something and destroyed the evidence. Like maybe I left like some chips or something. Maybe he ate a handful of chips. But he's so good at that, he never does that. I have barbecues over here almost every weekend where there's food on my kitchen table. And if he wanted to, he can get up there and grab whatever he wants off the kitchen table. He never even goes in there. That's never been a problem. So anyways, I'm trying to figure out what he did wrong. And I just give up. So I lay down on the couch and I start playing on my phone because I'm still trying to cool off from the hot day skating. He jumps on the couch, snuggles in between me, and starts to fall asleep. And I'm like, this is weird. He must have really done something wrong. But I'm enjoying it. I wish he was more cuddly. I like the cuddly version of my dog. So I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying the cuddliness. Everything's going good. Playing on my phone. And I'm starting to get hot. He's 80 pounds. He's laying on top of me. So eventually I can't fucking breathe. You know, I'm doing this for 15 minutes. And then eventually I'm just like, you're too heavy, man. You got to get off. So then I start to push him off. And I notice he has a boner. And I'm like, wait a minute. Boner, cuddling dog, and he's got the guilty face. What is going on? And not 1 second later do I get up off the couch. I step in a wet spot. And you know what? The boner gave it away. I stepped in the wet spot, then I looked at him and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, you did this? You did this? And then his ears go down and then he walks away in slow motion. Anyways, he's too old now to punish for that. So I just say, bad dog, bad dog. I shake my finger at him and he makes his head go down. And that's the whole punishment. When he was a baby, I would give him a little pinch or maybe a slap on the butt. But nowadays, he barely makes any mistakes ever. So no big deal. No big deal at all. If you have one mistake every year, I think we all deserve a mistake a year. I know personally, I mean, let's keep our fingers crossed. I haven't shit my pants all year. But if you've been listening to this podcast since its beginning, I've shit my pants almost regularly once a year. And I'm not proud of it, but you can't argue with facts. And every time I've done it, we've talked about it on the podcast because it's hilarious, okay? It's not like a brag. I don't come on here hoping to shit my pants to brag on a podcast. But if something funny happens to me, it's always more fun to share it on the podcast. Anyway, speaking of dogs, I was wondering the other day, do you think, serious question, kind of funny though, do you guys think that dogs understand keys? So obviously the dog knows that I have to make a jingling noise right before I open the door for him to go outside because I have a gate. I have a sliding glass door and behind that is like a metal gate. So sometimes I don't know if it's locked or unlocked. So I'll go open the glass door and then I'll put my hand on the knob and I'll turn the knob and I'll go to open the gate and it'll be locked. And then he'll headbutt the gate because he thinks it's going to immediately open. And sometimes when it is unlocked, I open it 1 inch and he headbutts his way through and then he walks outside because he's very impatient when he wants to go out. I don't know if all dogs are, but my dog is very impatient when he needs to go out. And sometimes he doesn't even need to like shit or piss or anything. He's just bored. So I wonder if he understands the idea that whenever I'm not purposely making you headbutt this piece of metal. I'm simply, I don't know if the door's unlocked, so I have to walk into the kitchen or maybe on the couch, wherever I last left my keys. I misplace my keys probably every other day. So I go searching through the house to find them. Sometimes they're in here. I was wondering if you think, I wonder if the dog looks up and sees like the key get inserted and then turn, and that maybe in his mind he believes that something happens, or does he just think that whenever he hears a jingling noise, that things just become magically open? I don't know. If anyone can talk to dogs, feel free to let me know. Speaking of talking to dogs, the WNBA has been in the news, a lot lately. And I feel so funny. I might not be as funny as I think I am sometimes. And sometimes I might not be funny at all, and other people think I am, and I'm not. Here, what I'm getting at is I read the story of somebody throwing a dildo at they threw a dildo on the court during a live WNBA game. And I wrote on Twitter, there will be more dildos thrown. It was written in the stars. And now, today, I read the news. There's now been 4 dildos thrown at WNBA games. And I feel like I'm funny because I knew it. You cannot write a news article about a dildo being thrown at a WNBA game. Okay? Also, the side, like, it's humorous for many ways. Number one, a dildo's always funny. Number two, the players, you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. So I knew right away that this was never going to end. And they're trying to put a stop to it. Some kid went to jail already. I think he's 18 years old. And they're charging him with like battery because the dildo might have hit a player, which is pretty, not the first time, pretty funny. But I can't wait. I hope that if anyone knows how to build websites and we can go in 50-50 partnership, make a website that updates automatically every time a dildo gets thrown at the WNBA. And then it would also have a countdown like this many days since a dildo was last thrown. So it would be like, currently blank dildos have been thrown. And then under that, it would say blank amount of days since last dildo thrown. And then you could put advertising right there. Boom. I don't think it's $1 million idea, but I feel like when one of you can make that website for me and split it 50-50, because I had the idea, you have the technical skills, split it 50-50, I feel like we would each make $10,000. At the very least, the WNBA might shut down our website and pay us to take the domain. We're each getting at least $5,000. Somebody do the idea, and it's Scout's honor, okay? If you guys could steal the idea and then never give me credit, and I would never know. But if you're an honorable person, let's split the money, okay? One of you guys must have some tech support bullshit. I've built websites before, but it would take me fucking 5 days to figure out how to do this. Some of you probably already know how to do it. You know all the codes and shit already in your head. So I'm also just excited. I'm not excited enough to watch WNBA, but I'm excited enough to, like, every couple of days, I'll type in WNBA news. I would type in WNBA dildo, but I'm kind of afraid for what might pop up if I type that on Google. And I don't know if I want that in my search history because my algorithm's already pretty fucked up. So we'll avoid typing it in like that. But interesting world we live in today. And I think it's great. I think it would be okay, here's what happens too. They throw the dildos and they land on the court. And the one video I saw, somebody picked up the dildo with like a towel so that it would be hidden from cameras. And the other one, a frustrated player kicked the dildo, which used to be my favorite game at recess, kicked the dildo off the court and then somebody grabbed it. But I feel like the ultimate The number one ultimate prank for prankster YouTubers, if you're out there, if you're listening, get the type of dildo that will stick to something and try to get it on the backboard. Dude, run out there in like a mascot outfit, throw it at the backboard, and have it on the backboard so that everyone can see it and so that a player has to jump and grab it now. And someone will inevitably take a photo of the WNBA player jumping, like it'd be like a silhouette, like the Michael Jordan dunk. It'd be a silhouette of the WNBA player grabbing the dildo from off of the backboard, and the photo would go down in history. And I'm sure I'm not the first one to think of that, but that is definitely something that someone out there should do. Okay? Please. You know, you're always like, man, somebody should do something. This is my moment. Someone should do something, not me. I'm not going to do it because it's probably going to go to jail, and I don't want to go to jail. I'm trying to stay on topic. I'm sweating so bad now that I think I'm going to shit my brains out. Okay. I'm back. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this for the people watching on Podbean or YouTube or whatever. I had to pause the podcast to take a third shit. I think McDonald's may have given me food poisoning or something because I don't know where this poop is coming from. I feel like I have more poop than food. Like I haven't had this much food. Where's this poop coming from? All right, moving on. My stomach is really hurting. One of the final topics. I want to get a vacuum for $50 or cheaper. I was probably going to try to turn this into a funny joke, but I feel like shit now. At least we got most of the podcast done. Do you guys have any vacuum advice? What should I get? What name brand? For less than $50, I'm sure somebody out there has done the research. Final topic of the day. I watched almost all of the new season of King of the Hill on Hulu, and I think it's okay. I think it's good that if you're like in your late 20s or 30s or something and you grew up with King of the Hill or maybe even Beavis and Butthead, I think it'd be cool to have a show that you can watch with like your son or, you know, like your family that they would enjoy because of the goofy pop culture references and that you would enjoy because of nostalgia. So you kind of like have something for everyone. But personally, I think there's way too many pop culture references to the point where it almost sounds like it's a commercial for certain things. Specifically, remember one episode where they were like, yeah, the bird shit on my car is what they could have said. But he was like, the bird pooped on my Ford Focus. And I'm like, that sounds like an ad. Did they just sneak a fucking Ford advertisement in the middle of an episode? Something that the real King of the Hill, I would think, wouldn't do. And then they just stay stuck on this theme of everything's different and nothing's ever really explained. I think shows that rely on flashbacks to tell the story that you missed, I think sometimes that gets played out. I want you guys to check it out. I think you guys would all enjoy it. But there's so many references to things that are popular right now that I think if you watch this show next year, it would be off. It wouldn't, you'd be like, why are they talking about that? You know what I mean? It'd be the difference between mentioning MySpace or Facebook on a show versus simply saying social media. That way the show doesn't lose anything in translation years later because you kept it vague enough to where, oh, they liked my post on social media, rather than saying they liked my post on MySpace, which then you watch that show 10 years later, what the fuck is MySpace? You know what I mean? I think King of the Hill made that big mistake, but also I think those references are what's going to make the younger crowd more drawn into King of the Hill. So I wonder if that was done on purpose. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the new King of the Hill. I thought they did a good job, but if that's my biggest complaint, then no big deal. I feel like they are. I think they're also staying pretty neutral with the politics. And I think that's hard to do. South Park's getting a lot of flack right now in media for being strongly biased. And I haven't seen South Park in years. I don't know what they're talking about, but I've read a lot of articles to where basically the thought is South Park makes fun of everyone unless it's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And you're like, wait, what? I thought they did make fun of everyone, because when I was a kid, they were definitely making fun of everyone. So I feel, I guess I would have to watch that for myself. I can't speak on that because I haven't seen it. Maybe it's just people exaggerating. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on King of the Hill. And that's all I have to talk about for today's podcast. Can I get a oh hell yeah from everyone who made it through the end of the podcast? If you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch or Podbean, you'll have missed the podcast came to a screeching halt, and it was just 15 minutes of silence because I had to fucking take a shit in the middle of the podcast. So that was kind of a bummer, and I appreciate those of you who stayed here and just sat in silence waiting for me to finish shitting. So you guys are the best. Shout out to Illy Mays, iBookBoy, Day, Humboldt, Brett, iBookBoy, Day, Fletcher, Cam, 702, Eric Sanchez. Like I said earlier, if you missed the podcast, you can check it out on iTunes, on Podbean, Spotify. I appreciate anyone that supported the podcast today. It looks like no one sent money. That's okay. Money's tough. Jason Park did raid the podcast 23 minutes ago. Thank you, Jason Park. You're the best. And if you guys don't have any money, you can still support the podcast by telling a friend about the podcast. Tell a coworker, tell a friend. Maybe they'll enjoy it. Every once in a while we have a podcast where I make everyone laugh and everything's great. Today, maybe not so much. Oh, look at that. I accidentally left the alerts on the screen. That was a mistake. Thank you, Fletcher, for the 300 bits. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And as I always say, don't drink too much and don't drink too little. Also, if you drink Buzz Balls, you definitely have a pussy. You pussy.